You know, every time you pay taxes, that money goes into this huge national pot. But have you ever stopped to wonder, how do we really know it's being spent the right way? Well, today, we're going to follow that money trail right here in Malaysia and take a look at the system that's supposed to protect every single ringgit. And look, this isn't some abstract government thing, it's personal. It really is. We're talking about billions of ringgit being spent every year on roads, hospitals, schools, you name it. This is your money hard at work. So, that brings us to the biggest question of them all, right? How can we, the public, be sure that all that cash is being spent wisely? I mean, really effectively. How do we keep power in check and make sure there's no waste, or even worse, corruption? Well, luckily, there's a pretty powerful system in place designed to do just that. You can think of it as the public's watchdog, and its job is to keep a very close eye on how our money is being spent. That system has a name: public sector auditing, and it's way more than just crunching numbers and checking receipts. It's a deep, systematic dive into everything the government does: its finances, its day-to-day operations, its performance, all with one big goal: making sure everything is transparent and accountable. You can really boil its mission down to three key things. First, is the spending legal? Are they following the rules? Second, is it efficient? Are we getting the most bang for our buck? And finally, is it effective? Is the money actually achieving what it was supposed to? In Malaysia, the organization with this huge responsibility is the National Audit Department, or NAD. This is the country's top audit institution, led by the Auditor General. And get this, its authority isn't just from some policy. It's literally anchored in the federal constitution. That's a big deal. All right, so we've met the watchdog. Now, let's take a peek inside and see how the whole process actually works. What does an audit really look like from the inside? So, right at the top, you've got the Auditor General. This is a position with some serious weight. They're appointed by the Young di Pertuan Agong based on the Prime Minister's advice. And this high-level appointment is really important. It's designed to make sure the role stays independent and has real authority. So, what's in the auditor's toolkit? Well, they have a few different kinds of audits. A financial audit is pretty straightforward. Do the numbers add up? A compliance audit asks, did everyone follow the law and the proper procedures? But then there's the performance audit, and this one is huge. It asks the really tough questions like, okay, we spent 1 billion ringgit on this new program. Did it actually work? Did it deliver real value to the people? Finding something in an audit is just the first step. Here's how the accountability process flows. First, the NAD does its investigation. Then, the Auditor General takes all those findings and puts them into a big report that goes directly to Parliament. From there, a special committee, the Public Accounts Committee, or PAC, digs into that report, and they have the power to call in officials and demand answers. So, a lot of steps, a lot of reports. Why does this whole meticulous process matter so much? Because believe me, from that first audit to the final hearing, it has a massive ripple effect across the entire country. The benefits here go way beyond just catching mistakes. When the system works like it's supposed to, it builds public trust because we can actually see where our money's going. It forces officials to be accountable for their actions. It makes things transparent, it improves how the government runs, and it keeps everyone playing by the rules. It really is a virtuous cycle. When you boil it all down, this whole process is about making government work better for all of us. By shining a bright light on public spending, these audits can spot waste, help leaders make smarter decisions, and maybe most important of all, they act as a huge deterrent against fraud and mismanagement. Okay, so what's the one big idea you should walk away with from all of this? It really all comes down to one core principle. You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head. The whole system rests on those two words: independent and objective. The Auditor General isn't on any politician's team. Their only job is to give an impartial, honest assessment to Parliament, and to us, the public, that our money is being managed the right way. So you see, public auditing isn't just some boring bureaucratic task. It's actually a cornerstone of good governance. It's the key mechanism that ensures the government is and always will be answerable to you, the person who pays for it all. But that leaves us with one final, really critical question. The auditor gives us the report, Parliament can ask the tough questions, but at the end of the day, who makes sure that action is actually taken? That's a question that really tests the entire system, and it's something for all of us to think about.